Call to order the council meeting. Can you do roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Here.
Mayor Garrett.
Here.
Councilmember Jennings.
Present.
Councilmember Hammond.
Present.
Oh, that's it. Okay. I keep forgetting. Thank you. I now invite everyone to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Who would like to do the approval of the agenda?
Motion to add in for the agenda 5A for presentations, Southfield Public Schools.
Second.
Is there any other additional? Hearing none. Is there a second?
I seconded.
Oh, sorry. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hammond.
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings.
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, we'll have public comment for items that's on the agenda. And speakers are limited to 3 minutes. You want to come to the podium and give your name. Anyone want to be heard?
Mayor, presentations.
Oh, I'm sorry. Karen, I made a mistake. I'm trying to move this faster than I guess I should be trying to move it. Let's do a do-over. We're now going to have a presentation of Southfield Public Schools. I don't know why. What's wrong?
Good evening. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Michaela Beckford. I am the student board representative for University K-12 Academy, and I will be representing for me and my counterpart, Eric Spraggins, for Southfield A&T. Just as a brief recap of events going on in our Southfield Public School District, we had our SAT and PSAT testing going on. University K-12 had their father-daughter dance, K-8 father-daughter dance. It was a huge success. And special thank you to our class Vice President Kristen Banks for organizing the night. It ran very smoothly. Our dean, or superintendent, Dr. Green, had a superintendent senior scholar showcase for our students who have a 3.5 or higher. Also, we had our decision day from university. We've had many incredible acceptances from schools like Yale, North Carolina A&T, Northwestern, the University of Michigan, Michigan State, Alabama A&M, and even international institutions around the globe. Moving on. We also are doing bi-weekly food trucks at university. Our next one will be May 20th. On May 2nd, we had a appearance from Wetzel's Pretzels and Egg Roll Divas. On May 5th, our AP exams began. May 5th, my apologies. May 5th through May 16th was also our Teacher Appreciation Week. May 6th was our National Junior Art Society and National Art Society induction ceremony as well. And last week, the 12th through the 16th was our Senior Week, followed by this week being, last week following into this week will be our Senior Spirit Week. Along with senior exams, this is our last week for seniors at University K-12. The clap out being on the 22nd as well as our Senior Sunset. On the 29th will be our prom. The theme is Enchanted Oasis from 11 to 7. Doors will close at 8, and our graduation being at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater on June 2nd, and June 3rd will be our senior banquet, and June 6th will be our graduation. June 2nd is our rehearsal. And then also, I just have a few senior spotlights. For Kristen Banks, she is our senior class board vice president. She'll be going to Case Western University in Cleveland, Ohio. Yusuf Muhammad, who is our very own creative director, who has worked incredibly hard on many photo shoots, including his own. He will be going to the University of Arts in London. Mary Casa, she was the Amazon Future Engineer Scholarship recipient, which is a $40,000 scholarship to any university with a guaranteed paid internship around as a software engineer at Amazon after her freshman year. She got into multiple Ivy Leagues such as Columbia, Carnegie, and Brown, but she's going to Yale University on a full ride. Temilola Alonu-Chala is our debate team captain and the youth board director for a nonprofit. She is going to Northwestern University. Kira Vales, who is our student council vice president, volleyball co-captain, softball captain, and has obtained over 100 hours in community service, is going to University of Michigan. College of Engineering of Environmental Engineering, and I, Michaela Beckford, I am student council president, volleyball co-captain as well, and our board representative for North Carolina A&T. I will be going to North Carolina A&T. Sorry. And they have decided our benefactors for the 2025-2026 school year. It will be Chidi and Paris Whitman. They will be our new student board representatives. This is from Eric. The majority of students in this year's graduating class are attending HBCUs. Our college readiness program, C2 Pipeline, continues to support students in preparing for higher education. And only 6 days left of school for our seniors. And and next week is our prom. Theirs will be Thursday, May 29th. It will be in Farmington, I believe. And also their graduation will be in the morning, June 6th. And that concludes my reports. Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela.
You don't have to stay through the whole meeting. Michaela, you don't have to stay through the whole meeting unless you just want to.
Oh, yes, I have homework.
Thank you. Congrats.
Next, we'll have the National Gun Violence Awareness Day Proclamation. Ms. Millie, do you want to say anything about it?
Good evening,
Good evening.
and thank you for giving us an opportunity to talk about gun violence because it's our mission and our passion. I'm Millie Hall, and I'm the lead person in Michigan for the Brady Gun Violence Organization. And I have with me Brother Don
Wiggins.
and he's with Moms Demands Action. And we work closely with them and also with the Gifford organization. We all have the same mission to end gun violence in our country. And I'm very honored that I was one of the original million moms that went to Washington, D.C. in 2000. And we brought awareness under the Clinton administration to talk about gun violence in our country. We know that the U.S. is number one when it comes to gun violence. And we know that every day on the news, if it's not local, which most times it is something local, we are dealing with some type of tragedy in our country. So we need to all step up and get involved more in our communities to see what kind of avenues that are available to you and those in your community to bring more awareness about gun violence. June is National Gun Violence Awareness Month, and orange is our symbolic color for survivors as well as victims of domestic violence. So again, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity, and we're so glad to be here to bring our message to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, for the proclamation, there looks like there's a spelling error in it. We could just correct that. But we are going to proclaim that this declares the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the city of Lathrup Village to honor and remember all victims and survivors of gun violence, and declare that we as a country must do more to reduce gun violence. Whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep children safe and everyone safe. Now therefore be it resolved that Mayor Kelly Garrett of the City of Lathrop Village declares June 6, 2025 to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day, and I encourage all citizens to support their local communities' efforts to prevent the tragic effects of gun violence and to honor and value human lives. And this is the whole month, though, of
Right.
wearing
The
is
whole month of
considered.
June. Right.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for your support, and please wear orange on that day and let other people who see you wearing orange know why you're wearing it. It means a lot. Thank you for the support.
Okay.
Thank you.
And if you need a T-shirt or someone you know that needs a T-shirt, you know.
I will call you, I
Okay,
promise.
Just give me a call and I'll see that you get a T-shirt so that you can be a symbol in your community of bringing awareness about gun violence.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next we have the DDA, St. Baldricks Foundation event recap. Who
I'm gonna
is-
turn this on over to Tom.
Okay.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, Mike Green, and the members of the City Council, I thank you for your time this evening, and I respectfully request that this letter be placed into the public record as a token of my appreciation of this community and everyone who contributed to the success of our campaign. I want everyone to know that this community is full of incredible individuals capable of incredible things. Since late February, the Lathrup Downtown Development Authority has partnered with the St. Baldricks Foundation, an organization whose mission is simple: conquering kids' cancer. Over the past 20 years, St. Baldricks has raised and distributed more than $350 million to fund research, clinical trials, and most importantly, hope. Our event, Shave the Intern, was designed with a lighthearted twist. Our highest donor would earn the right to shave my head. We as a community raised over $1,500 and followed through on our promise. And while that may seem modest, every dollar contributed to something far greater than any of us can see. Again, funding research, clinical trials, and so much more. This cause is deeply personal to me, and I know I'm not alone. Cancer touches so many lives, families, communities, and friends. And while we adults might be emotionally and mentally prepared to fight such a battle, no child should be. Children should be worried about recess and playtime, not chemotherapy in hospital rooms. Organizations like St. Baldricks work tirelessly to ensure a future where kids don't have to fight for their lives. I often hear the word legacy at council and planning commission meetings and other civic gatherings. It's usually tied to big questions. What will the legacy be of this city? What will we leave behind? Some people chase their legacy, others let it take shape in the lives they touch. I want to tell you about someone in the latter category who never got the chance to define her own legacy and who left behind one that continues to inspire. Excuse me. Her name was Stephanie. I'll take you back to 2002, first grade. Got my head in the clouds. Mostly unaware of the world beyond my own. But one day a serious note fell over the school. A second grader had been diagnosed with brain cancer and had departed for treatment. Our teachers, to their credit, didn't hide the reality from us. They told us the gravity of the situation and rallied us behind her. Stephanie was a fighter. Her tumor was aggressive, but so was she. She returned to school sometime later, still battling her illness, and though most of us didn't fully grasp what she was going through, we knew one thing. Stephanie was the toughest kid in school. Life went on, and we got to know her more, but cancer is relentless and cruel. You may not know, but brain cancer can change you, your mood, your memory, your sense of self. Yet Stephanie remained Stephanie. She stayed strong. I remember a fundraiser we held for her, for the love of Stephanie. Our school and what felt like our entire world rallied behind her. By then we were 10, old enough to begin grasping the scope of her fight. I remember my fourth grade teacher showing me a photo of Stephanie before chemotherapy took her hair. Her hair was blonde, the same as mine. The next year I read a story in the Scholastic News about a group of boys in Georgia who grew out their hair collectively to make a wig for a classmate with cancer. Their school tried to punish them for violating the dress code, but the boys won in court. And that story stayed with me. Not for the lawsuit, even though, by the way, peak. But for the act of solidarity and love. I decided then and there that I was going to grow my hair for Stephanie. I told my teachers, my family, and my classmates, and I had everyone's support. But I didn't have the time. On August 23rd, 2007, After 4 years of courage, we lost Stephanie. She passed away at 11. We were heartbroken and numb and sad and determined. I couldn't get my hair, but I could still honor her. I donated 14 inches of hair the year following her funeral, and I've done it 3 more times since. Every campaign, every dollar raised and donated was all in her name, because that is a legacy that she inspired, one that I'm going to carry on the rest of my life, one that this community helped to carry on and will continue to carry on for years to come. It will be our collective act of solidarity and love for all of our loved ones who have fought. And thus, I would like to personally thank all who donated, who helped us as a community honor one legacy and begin another. People like Mayor Kelly Garrett, Elisa Emanuel, Jordan Sherman, Timothy Hillman, Austin Colson, Michael Colson, Lauren Barris, Michael Green, Dr. Banar Barbat, the people at Alchemy Hair Design, Janice Walkers, Megan Peruskowitz, Ron Gishwin, Chuck Snelling, Christina Schindler, Kenan Sue Crass, Stephen Howcroft, Tim and Lynn Kennedy, Bruce Cantor, Karen D. Harris, Jason Hammond, Jim Kennedy, Ryan Skoo, Donna Wallace, and Valerie Bryant of Always Hair For You. Words cannot possibly begin to describe my gratitude and admiration to all of you for your generosity and grace. Together we carried on a legacy, and hopefully we can inspire future acts of kindness. Thank you. With that, I'd like to ask, St.Baldricks has asked that City Council takes a picture with the flag, and I would like to ask you all to join me before we continue in a picture.
Okay.
You guys in front?
Huh?
You have to do it in front, yeah.
Oh, good.
Probably be easier.
Here, let me just take it, let me take it. And look at it. Got it? Thank you, Karen. Here we go. Another one. Got it.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay, now, anyone, we have the public comment now. Anyone that wants to speak about any items that's on the agenda, you have 3 minutes and you can come to the lectern.
Mayor, and I do want to remind the public that we do have 2 public hearings regarding agenda items tonight, so there will be another opportunity for the PA 33 and budget
Okay,
during those times.
thank you.
Can I speak on it now, though?
Yeah.
Okay. Lauren Barris, Golden Gate Drive West. I did talk about this in the study session, but I wanted to share it in the meeting as well. I'm here tonight to speak in support of passing Public Act 33. Because of how Michigan tax laws work, especially Headlee and Prop A, our city's taxable income has been frozen in place, even as costs of the city, running a city, keeps going up. We've reached the point where we can no longer afford to maintain essential services without additional revenue. I've attended many of the financial committee meetings and subsequent town halls, and I honestly don't see any other option. We seem to be running out of road to kick the can down, I said. We are finally in a place where things are working. When you call City Hall, the phone gets answered, problems get solved, staff is responsible, responsive, professional, and collaborative. And I know this firsthand because I'm at City Hall a lot, working with the LVMF, and I interact with most everyone at City Hall at some point, both as a resident and somebody deeply involved in my community. That kind of functioning government doesn't just happen. It's a result of leadership. Mike Green, I do want to thank you, Mike Green. He's done an outstanding job cultivating a strong, cohesive team, and it's also the result of investment that we have to protect. I don't want to lose leave pickup or garbage services, and I most definitely don't want to lose a police officer or a dedicated city employee. I know it's uncomfortable. I've been here a lot longer than Tim Hillman, who claims he'll pay the most than anyone in the community. And I know it'll affect newer residents more, and I think that that should give us pause, and it deserves thoughtful communication with the public moving forward. But we can't ignore the financial reality that we're facing. City Hall was elected to serve the community, and sometimes that means making hard decisions for the greater good. And so I'm here to ask you to please pass Act 33. I think it's a responsible thing to do for the future of Lathrup Village. Also, if I still have a few more minutes, I want to thank Tom for doing the fundraiser. It was an honor to be part of that with you, a tiny part of that with you, and I'm so proud of you, like really. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard?
Yeah.
All right. Well, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Adele Austin Anderson. I applied to fill the vacant seat on the city council. And I wanted to just put a face to my application. And I'm a little bit under the weather, so please bear with me. So first of all, I'm a proud resident of Lathrup Village. I've been, my husband and I have been homeowners here since 2004. We care deeply about the city. We love the city. It is, we feel it's a really safe place. Our neighbors care about us. And our piece of the neighborhood hasn't changed very much. So in that 20 years, we've really cultivated friendships. Now, personally, I bring over 25 years of experience as a leader in nonprofit and public sectors with a focus on equity, civic engagement, and community-driven collaborations. I hold a Master's of Public Policy degree from the University of Michigan, and currently I serve as a Development, Innovation, and Access Specialist at the Michigan Department of Civil Rights. Previously, I held senior leadership roles. I was the director of the University of Michigan Detroit Center, and I worked closely with city agencies and residents to align university resources with local priorities. As the Midwest Regional Director of Food Corps, I led programming across several states, partnering with school districts and government agencies to support student success and wellness. And I also led the Woodward Heritage Organization, which focused on economic development, event coordination, and community revitalization along the Woodward corridor. In addition to my professional work, I've served as a trustee with Detroit Public Television and as an election poll worker right here in Lathrup Village. I'm also an active member of Hope United Methodist Church. If given the opportunity to serve on the council, I will bring thoughtful, community-centered perspectives and a focus on equity, smart development, and civic engagement. So thank you for your time and consideration. And if you need any more information, I'd be happy to provide it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that?
Karen Harris, Cambridge Boulevard. Just want to say, we the residents elected all of you, and you found Mike, and you guys are doing an excellent job. While you were here to support us, the residents should be supporting you and your efforts. And I think the PA 33, if you feel that's what we need to do, that's what we need to do. Nobody wants higher taxes. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do to make the city work for everybody. It's for everybody. I'd also like to put out a couple words about Parks and Rec is doing an excellent job. Excellent. Offering so many things. I've been volunteering for the Historical Society, so I know the kind of work they're doing. Making progress, going through things. It's just amazing what's down there. I see all of you here, so you know I'm here working on that. We just have so many different small groups of people who are contributing, and it's just wonderful. So I think as you support us, we need to support you, and I'm for PA 33.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Salim Siddiqui. I'm a longtime resident of Lathrup Village. I wanted to make a comment in support of PA 33 as well. I've lived in Lathrup Village since 1996. I've always loved the style of the homes, the close neighborhood feel, the parks, and the recreational activities that the city has provided over the years, as well as the needed services such as our police force, garbage and recycle pickup, and the leaf pickup, among other things. I like the fact that we are our own independent city and can provide these services for the residents. Now, we know that city revenue has decreased due to Proposal A, the Headlee laws, and the state holding back funds that they should have given the city. At the same time, our costs have increased due to inflation and a lot of other factors. So with all this, it looks like we're going to have a budget shortfall possibly this year unless we raise revenue or make further cuts. I believe we've cut a lot out of the budget already, and I don't support further cuts that will impact the services that we rely on as city residents. So I'm in favor of the City Council enacting Public Act 33 for 1 year and raising the required revenue that is needed for this year. I don't want to see us make cuts that affect the quality of life that we have here. I also favor putting the Headlee override on the ballot for November. Let's let our residents decide if they want a long-term increase in taxes to pay for our services or not. And if not, that's fine too. But I for one would not want to give up our services that we have. Once we do that, our city becomes pretty bare bones and less desirable to live in, and I for one don't want that to happen. So for this session, I just want to put another voice out there in favor of Public Act 33. Thank you.
Is anyone else?
Good evening, council members. Good evening, community members. I would like to give you a short introduction to myself. My name is Jill Holloway, and I am honored to be considered for the appointment to the Lathrup Village City Council. As soon as I put my glasses on. I've called Lathrup Village home for 24 years, and I'm deeply committed to the growth, safety, vitality of this community. My career began in public service as a Detroit police officer. I later served in the liquor license department and also worked with Benefit and Protective Association as the Assistant Secretary Treasurer. It's a benevolent organization supporting the families of fallen officers. It was a mission close to my heart and one that reflects my commitment to service and community support. Beyond law enforcement, I bring experience as a licensed general contractor, giving me firsthand knowledge of infrastructure, zoning, community development, skills that align directly with city planning and revitalization efforts. In addition to my professional background, I've been an elected Southfield school trustee where I advocate for students, families, and equitable educational resources. I've also served as precinct delegate and was a member of the 13th Congressional District. I am currently a member of the 12th Congressional District, where I remain active in grassroots civic engagements. Throughout my career and community service, I've developed a deep understanding of public policy, collaboration, and problem solving. I am committed to transparency, equity, and ensuring the voices of Lathrup Village residents be heard and respected. I'm excited about the opportunity to bring my diverse experience and passion for service to the City Council. I am also a candidate for the November City Council election coming up. Thank you for your consideration and time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Let me put my glasses on. Good evening, everyone. I am Tracy Williams. Good evening, Mayor, Pro Tem, council members, community. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Tracy Williams, and I am honored to speak with you today as an applicant for the open seat on Lathrup Village City Council. As a resident on Bungalow Drive, and then formerly on Kilburney Avenue, I'll let you know that my career is an intersection of community, commerce, and service. As a small business consultant with Oakland Thrive and with Oakland County, and I'll let you know that Oakland Thrive is a 501c3 organization. I've worked diligently and directly with hundreds of small businesses, helping them access resources, navigate challenges, and grow sustainably. I've also had the privilege of working alongside local government leaders to build stronger connections between the city and the business community. I've also been involved with my church for a long time as a very active member serving with Christian Tabernacle Church in Southfield. Before that, I served in a leadership role with the Wright Museum, where I focused on creating public-facing programs, growing community-driven revenue strategies, always with equity, engagement, and economic development in mind. It's extremely important. Now, I applied to serve on this council because I believe in Lathrup Village's potential to be a model of community, collaboration, and smart revenue growth, and inclusive civic leadership. This city is a special place. As I often tell others who don't live in Lathrup Village, Lathrup Village is a vibe. And I've seen firsthand how local policy and city leadership can directly impact the quality of life here. And I do want to be a part of that work. I want to listen, advocate, and serve in a way that brings people together, serve this community, and move this city forward. I do thank you for considering my application and for your continued service to this community. Thank you all.
Thank you. Anyone else want to be heard?
Good evening. Good evening. Mayor Garrett, Mayor Pro Tem Cantor, and to our city council member. My name is Harold Animo, and I would like to express my interest in the appointed city council position. I was just going to speak, but I think I'd rather read because I want to make sure that my community members also hear what I've shared with you. And in my letter to Mr. Green, I stated that I'm writing to express my interest in the June through November 2025 City Council appointment. I have been a resident in Lathrup Village since 2016. In this, while I've been here, I've served as a poll worker for one election cycle, and I've worked to get my street paid unsuccessfully, but we'll keep trying. I've always been civically engaged. I am a first-generation American. My family is from West Africa, and I know the importance of the American dream and what we can do to achieve that. In 1990, I moved here from Liberia with the Lee's Endure Civil War. I was born here in Dallas, Texas, and moved to the east side of Detroit. And since that time, my parents were refugees in Nigeria. And this is what really prompted me to go into public service. Because throughout my life, I've always had angels supporting me and showing me in the right direction. A proud graduate of Detroit Public Schools, Cass Technical High School. I attended the University of Michigan, where I received my undergraduate in psychology and my master's in business administration from Ross School of Business. I'm also a public health professional. I received my MPH from Tulane University. I have been in public service for 20 years. I've worked in city government for 10 years, where I served 3 mayors. I served under Mayor Kilpatrick, under Mayor Bing, and then Mayor Duggan in the role of chief epidemiologist for the city. And as we talk about the violence prevention, gun violence prevention, I was also the lead epidemiologist to develop Detroit's plan for violence prevention. Currently, I am in the role of Deputy Director and Chief Health Equity Officer for Wayne County. And in that role, I've been there at the county for 3 years. And in that role have stood up our social determinants of health hub, where I was able to get about 1.5 million to establish. 3 minutes?
Yes.
Oh, all right. And I went off script and here goes. So I also want to talk about the most important thing, my husband here, who is a 20-year Army vet, and I have 3 children. So hopefully I get this opportunity to continue to serve as I, been doing this for a very long time. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard?
Here we go again. Diane Anderson. And again, I want to reiterate congratulations to Tim and Bruce and the Finance Committee for those wonderful seminars that they have conducted. If you haven't gone to one, you really should, and read it online. And Tim tells me they will put up the pie charts and then they'll be perfect. Having said that, I'm concerned because my family's ties go back to 1946 here and mine to 1951, and I am very concerned that we're talking about a revenue issue, and there is a revenue problem. But the solution to it is one that I think is going to cost Lathrop a great deal in terms of revenue. And that's the fact that rather than recognizing we're a bedroom community, 1.5 square miles, we could be like Indian Village, we could be like Boston Edison, only something very special, mid-century America, which is what appeals to the millennials and the Gen Zs, incidentally. We could do that, but we're not, because we're doing nothing to enhance the size of the historic district. 90% of Lathrop homes could now qualify. There's over 40 businesses I went up and down and found individually. They can qualify. But the Historical Society that my mother helped found, is dead. It's a private club. It blackballs people like me who care about preservation. They actually voted their president to basically allow the school to be enveloped and basically trashed. We don't have anyone that's speaking out for preservation in this community, and yet we're not factoring in how much your homes would increase in value if we were to expand the historic district. And in 2027, we were celebrating the 100th anniversary of that wonderful school that has been the beating heart of Lathrop, rather than turning it into a giant cocoon. I challenge the council, and yet I have not heard one council member, nobody on the Planning Commission, nobody on the Historic District Commission, explain that there is actually a need for more apartments. I'm told, well, the Cernos did it. Of course the Cernos did it. They want to build it. What do you think? There's a woman who's supposed to work for you, the taxpayers, but she doesn't. She spooks for Cerno. And until the council members can do their own work and demonstrate what those of us who drive around know isn't true, we know that there are vacancies everywhere. Royal Oak, Berkeley, Birmingham, you name it. My own building where I live, one of the 4 units has been vacant since November 2023. We do not need an apartment building. We need parks and recs with the grounds around the school that we always had. We need to repurpose it. We can do boutique type things and still have it for the public purposes and keep the grounds, not a parking lot. I can't finish what I have to say in the time we've got, but happily there's 3 minutes later on. I'll finish it then.
Thank you. Anyone else want to be heard?
Good evening, everybody. I've got some prepared remarks, but before I get to it, Tom, thank you again. I've told you before that I had a nephew who passed away of cancer at 12 years old. He battled something called Ewing sarcoma for 5 years, and the St.Baldricks Foundation was a big part of his experience. So thank you for donating your hair, and thank you for raising money. It's certainly a very good cause and one that's dear to me. But even more than that, I want to thank you for your humility and vulnerability tonight. City business can be sterile and sometimes even hostile. And in sharing your humanity, I think it reminds all of us of our shared humanity. It reminds me of Diane's, it reminds me of Karen's, Elizabeth's, Don's, Salim's, all of us. So thank you for doing that. I think it set a very good tone for tonight's meeting. For my prepared remarks. Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Timothy Hillman, and I appreciate the opportunity to express my interest in the vacant city council seat. I believe I'm positioned to serve, not only because my experience and dedication, but also because of the spirit in which I've come to know and love this community. Since moving to Lathrup Village 3 years ago, I've made it a point to be more than a resident. I'm a contributor. My service on both the Planning Commission and the Finance Committee has deepened my understanding of how our city functions and what our residents value. It's also given me the chance to build relationship with city staff, council members, and community members alike. We're in a period of financial uncertainty, and I remain deeply committed to seeing us through it. I've spent more than a year helping residents better understand how municipal finance works because I believe informed residents make stronger communities. I would also bring a steady hand. Your job isn't easy, and frankly, it shouldn't be. I don't shy away from that kind of discomfort. In my service to our city, I've been the subject of public critique, even attacks on my character. Still, I let my patience, not my ego, lead me. I'm rarely absent from council meetings. I'm very familiar with the way this body works, its rhythms, its challenges, its responsibilities, and I believe I can step in and hit the ground running, not just to vote, but to contribute meaningfully. So thank you for your time and your consideration. I'd be honored to serve, and I'm elated so many other qualified applicants threw their hat in the ring as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to be heard?
And good evening.
Good evening.
Kind of weird being on this end. I am throwing my hat in the ring for consideration for the open position. And what I bring to the table is, of course, as many of you probably know, I was a elected member of council for many years. I think 2004 to 2017, maybe, something like that. And I think what I also bring to the table is I can hit the ground running. I was a member of council during those lean years when a lot of those important decisions were made. And I'm not interested in running in November. I am interested in filling the position in the interim, hitting the ground running, serving, and I am so very impressed with the number of incredibly qualified people who are seem willing to serve this community. Just by way of background, I am an attorney, but I'm also a 30-plus year resident of the city, and I remember vividly what first got me involved. And what first got me involved was that little dirt path walking the kids to McIntyre School. Back in the day, we would walk our children to school. I raised 3 kids in this city. And we would walk our children to school, but that road now has a sign that says, no vehicle traffic during the hours that we are walking our children to school. I did that. Because when we were walking our kids to school, cars were just pulling up there to bring them as close as possible to McIntyre. I see people nodding your heads, you remember. And we said we should change this. And we did. And there's now a sign that every morning when I ride my bike past it, I say, I did that. But so I am interested in serving. I think I can hit the ground running, and I am so happy there are so many people who are interested in serving also. Hope to see them on the ballot in November.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, hearing none. Who wants to make a motion for the consent agenda?
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the removal of items under 7A,
approval of minutes, the 4/21/25 study session minutes at 7:01, and the May 5th, 2025 study session meeting minutes at 7:03.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Yes.
Yes. Consent agenda is approved. We will now go into the approval of minutes. Who would like to make a motion to approve that?
I would like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the April 21st, 2025 study session, the following edit.
Okay.
Under the council comments, under, hold on, add it up here it is. Under the council comments for Councilmember Hammond's comments, there is a bullet point that says, to Ms. Coons, please call and ask the city before jumping to conclusions about TOHQ. What I actually said was, to Ms. Coons, please call and ask the city before jumping to conclusions about TOHQ or any other business opening or operating in the city. So just that amendment. That's the first one. I made a motion on.
Oh, keep going, because they're
Want
all
me to do
under
the other
one.
one?
Yeah. No,
Then
what were you gonna say?
You can do them separate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
I need a second.
Second.
it's been moved to second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Garrett,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And
Next
then
one?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the May 5th, 2025 study session with the following edit in the bullet points under section C for
What
the.
page are you on? Or you don't have it? Huh?
Page 18 in your
Okay,
packet.
thank you.
Under section C, which is draft of the pilot ordinance discussion, the last bullet says the DDA gets all of the tax money received now in the DDA district, but the city can negotiate with the DDA. It should read the DDA gets all of the incremental tax money received now in the DDA district, but the city can negotiate with the DDA. I just think the mention of incremental tax revenue is important.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. Motion passes. Is there any, you're done with them?
That's it.
Okay. Next, we'll go on to the public hearing. The first one that's going to be opened is the Public Act 33, Police and Fire Special Assessment District. Is there anyone that wants to be heard about the PA 33? If you would like to be heard, come to the microphone and give your name and street address. Hearing none, then that public hearing gets closed, and we will open up the public hearing for fiscal year 2025-26 budget. If anyone wants to be heard, please come to the lectern, give your name and your address, well, not address, but the street you live on, or not. Anyone want to be heard regarding the fiscal year 2025-26 budget? Hearing none, then the public hearing is closed, and we will go into the action request for consideration and approval. First one up is request to approve Resolution 2025-12, a resolution to certify the special assessment roll for the PA 33 special assessment.
Thank you, Mayor. So as council is aware, we're looking for approval of enacting Public Act 33, which is Police and Fire Special Assessment. We've been talking about this for the past couple months, and included in your packet are 3 separate resolutions which give you options on what millage rate to enact if you do decide to do one. 2025-12A is the Finance Review Committee's recommendation of the full 3.1051. B is 2 mils and C is 1 mil. And if council does not feel like implementing this at all, no action is necessary. But whatever action is taken here will directly affect the next agenda item, which is the budget.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2025-12B, to certify the special assessment role for Public Act 33, Public Safety Special Assessment, which is the assessment for 2 mills.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I think definitely. Well, I mean, I definitely support the 2 mills. I think there's a compromise there. This was a hard decision to make, or we haven't made the decision yet, but this was hard to kind of think about. On the one hand, where we're thinking about doing nothing, there's so many things that will be cut, and so many people probably would be hurt for their city services to be disregarded. And then on the flip side, going to the 3.1 mills, I thought was pretty egregious, especially for the economic climate that we're in right now. And just my concerns, like we all pay taxes and, I think we're all doing the math. And so I think the 2 mills for me kind of support what we need for city services. I also don't want us to have to lose staff members. No one wants to have to fire anyone, let anyone go. So I think that really spoke to me as well, just making sure that both sides of the stick are happy. So those are my remarks for.
Yeah, I agree with Jalen. I think the 3.1015 or whatever it was, it's around to 3.1, that was recommended by the Finance Review Committee. That was based upon what the equivalent of a Headlee override would be. And I think looking at this year's budget, we can jettison an improvement project for the City Hall Park and go with 2 mills and get the revenue that would be generated by the 2 mills to make our budget balance and not have to do any staff cuts or cuts of other services or items that the city desperately needs. That said, I mean, moving forward, I mean, we'll still have this issue, which is why later on tonight we'll be talking about putting the Headlee override on the ballot for November. We talked a lot in the study session about why we need to do this, and I'm not going to go into the whole finance town hall, but as some of the public commenters have eloquently stated, we're dealing with issues like Prop A, the market crash of 2008, which still affects us, Headlee, in reducing our revenue, reductions in state shared revenue, while expenses are going up. We have new expenses, we have unfunded mandates from the state. So we're just in a situation where our revenue does not go up, but our expenses do. And Mike has done a great job of maintaining our expenses, Michelle as well, our finance director. But there's really nothing major left to do without making cuts. We've done cuts in the past, things that we can't do again, like we outsourced the DPW, you can't do that again. So we've done those kinds of things cumulatively over the years. There's not a lot left to do. The only thing left to do I said this, fell into the same trap in the study session. I think very few people want to outsource the police. We like our community policing. It's something that identifies us as a individual community, something different than Southfield. And I don't think anybody wants to do that. And so I think to get us through this next year until we can get the November election on the ballot and resolved, I think 2 mills is a good compromise.
Yeah, I wanted to say that the 2 mil Public Act 33 assessment provides room to pad our general fund, which is below recommended levels for keeping the city running. I think that the recommendation from state and from our auditors is to have a 20% balance in the general fund in order to maintain city services and have money in place for things like water main breaks or other surprises that might come up unexpectedly. We're currently at, what, 17%? 14%. So passing a 2 mil Public Act 33 assessment won't close the entire gap, but it closes some of the gap. It provides us a little bit of breathing room in an environment where, as Bruce just stated, we have increasing stressors from the cost of running the city from a number of different perspectives, including the most recent police contracts, which we negotiated and were very well negotiated and did a great job of protecting the city and getting us kind of the best deal possible in the environment that we're in, but still more expensive than what we had been paying previously. So that's another chunk out of our revenue that we need to account for. And it also, I want to make a statement about how the funds will be utilized. Like it is a Public Act 33 assessment, which means all the money raised from this assessment will go towards paying for public safety. And it doesn't mean, what it will allow us to do is use money from the general fund that's currently used to pay for public safety services and use that money to pad our general fund in order to increase the rainy day fund, if you will, but also to pay for other things that the city needs in terms of its maintenance and upkeep and progressing the city. The other thing is just taking a look at, we did some math in preparation for this meeting. The average cost per year to the average household in Lathrup Village at a 2 mil assessment is $180 a year, which works out to $15 a month. On the lower end, for long-term residents, people whose the taxable value of their home has been held down because of state tax laws, the average is, the cost is about $150 a year, which is about $12.50 a month. And even at the high end of people who are in the highest taxed homes in the city, it's approximately $400 a year, which works out to about $33.50 a month. Now, I'm not calling out those numbers to make a statement that that's nothing, right? It's certainly, especially for people who are on fixed incomes, which a lot of people who've been living here for a long time are on fixed incomes. But I think, this council needs to make decisions based on the betterment of the city for everybody, to be thinking strategically and looking forward, to be planning for things like maintaining the city's infrastructure, its water infrastructure, its streets infrastructure, the building infrastructure, the playgrounds, all the public areas need to be maintained. And not doing something like this and moving money to this assessment that then frees up money in the general fund to do other things provides us with a mechanism to close the budget gap and also take care of some of these pressing matters that are important to residents and business owners in the city.
Done?
I'm done.
I am totally opposed to raising, I guess it's what taxes for the most part. Because I think that this is just, what's going on in the economy now is just to me, it's just not a right time. Everything it seems like it is a little topsy-turvy. But I also have been here, maybe not 30 years, but I've been here double-digit years, and I like what I like too. And this is why I moved here also. I like to know that when I call the police for the most idiotic things, they might show up, or they do show up all the time. Rather than I tripped my alarm mistakenly, they're there. And that's why I moved here, and I feel safe. And that's why I have a very hard time with this decision, and the way that this decision has to be is that what I'm hearing, I'm the person that would have to make the deciding vote, and that is just horrible. But I get it. It's something I just think of my own parents and grandparents that are on fixed income, and every dollar counts, and so that's what makes it just difficult. That's it.
Yeah. One thing I would say to that, I totally get that, and we as a committee, we spent a lot of time focusing on the percentage of the people who are uncapped or have higher value homes who would be hit hardest, and we talked a lot about residents who aren't fixed incomes, and even those who aren't, who are trying to make ends meet. But back in 2010, we were in a similar situation,
And if you remember what was going on in 2010, well, in 2010, Headlee had lowered our millage rate from 20 mils down to 16 mils, so we've lost 20% of our taxing ability. And so in 2010, we asked for a Headlee override, which is what we're asking for in November. And back in 2010, we were in the deep throes of the real estate crash. We had more foreclosures, record numbers of foreclosures. People were losing their jobs right and left. And, you know, we don't know what's going to happen with the economy now, but things were pretty bad there. And Lathrup residents as a community stepped up by more than a 2-to-1 margin to vote for the Headlee override. So I think of that, I don't know if that helps at all, but I think of that when I was thinking about, you know, how to vote on this. And just from talking to residents, and we had a lot of residents tonight talk in support of the PA 33, I go around and talk to a lot of residents, and we talk about this, and some are against, and but I find that more of them seem to be that they're reluctant but understand. So I don't know if that helps or not. But.
Nope. So, any other discussion?
I do want to make one last statement. In the packet, there is a report that shows the impact of the 3 different assessment values that we were looking at, the 3.1, 2 mils, 1 mil, and for each address, the actual monthly impact, I think, for each of those properties. So if this passes and people are interested to know what the actual impact to their tax bill will be when taxes are due in the future, there's a record of it. You can look up your own address and find out.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Just to note that when we were in the study session, I believe last week or the week before, we did talk about with the 2 mills what we could cut, and we did kind of discuss cutting the Andy Lathrup Park upgrade, which was significant, but it will help us kind of close that gap for the compromise of 2 mills. That's it.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
I'm begrudgingly saying yes.
That's
So,
a yes. Goes down as a yes.
yes. Please put begrudgingly. So the motion passes. I feel like I need to take a recess. Oh my God. Okay. Request to approve Resolution 2025-13 Annual Fiscal Resolution for fiscal year 2025-26 budget.
Thank you, Mayor. So over the past month, council and staff have been working on the budget together while staff has been working on it essentially since January. So with the approval of the 2 mills, we are looking for an approval of a budget today. Council does have until the 3rd Monday in June to officially approve the budget, but based on last year, we do like to get ahead of it just in case we have additional questions. So included in your packet was the draft budget, included multiple options based on your PA 33 choosing. And if we'd like to move forward, it'd be Resolution 2025-13B that would need to be approved tonight. This meets all our requirements for the state, and then we should be good to go for the next year.
Thank you. Who would like to make the motion?
I'd like to make the motion for Resolution 2025-13B for our annual budget, although I would like to throw out one minor curve based upon what we heard in the study session so that we can discuss it. Mr. Hillman in the study session suggested swapping out the $15,000 for the community room chairs with a equal or near equal expense for public safety. And in light of the fact that this is a public safety Act 33, about half of the expenditures in there are directly for public. Directly for public safety. I'd like to swap out the chairs for the
carport for the police, which is, I think that, Mike said it was a $3,000 difference.
Well, I looked up Chief's original request. He went high in the CIP. I think if you swapped it dollar for dollar, I think we can get it done.
Okay, so I'd like to swap it dollar for dollar for the community room chairs for the carport for the police.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, no, so in the capital improvement plan, the request from the chief was for $18,000 for this carport.
Yeah,
right?
and in his budget to me, it was around 7. However, that was just for the carport. We know there's going to be additional costs for
course.
landscaping, electrical, foundation, things like
Concrete,
that. So I think 15 is doable. Naturally, this project's going to have to come before council anyways. So you guys will see it again.
Okay.
And I want to say that we've been working over this budget for several meetings now, at least 4, including study sessions and regular meetings. So nobody on this council is coming to a conclusion about this budget lightly. And what we know about budgets is that we plan for certain things to happen, and then water mains break, right? And snow plows shut down, and like things break and happen. And so inevitably, there are adjustments to and amendments to the budget throughout the course of the year that we need to manage. I would just encourage the city administrator and the staff to, as we have to make those tough decisions, to be creative as possible and try and move money out of places that we aren't spending it in the budget into places that we have to spend it unexpectedly in the budget, so that we can try and maintain the budget balance the way it currently is, if possible. It may not always be possible.
Was there like quotes that he pulled for this?
Yeah, when Chief originally did this, he did solicit some builders for just very general quotes. That's how we work with a lot of our budgeting processes. We don't get formal quotes at the time. We're just trying to get rough numbers. But he's pretty confident with his lower number, if any, to the CIP.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Garrett,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next is going to be the request to approve the 2025-2030 capital improvement plan.
Thank you, Mayor. So every year when we approve the budget, council also formally approves the capital improvement plan that the Planning Commission has been working on over the past few months. Included in your packet is the updated CIP based on the conversation at the last study session. Our biggest change is we added the San Jose siren activated gate. So we are looking for formal approval of this CIP.
Thank you. Who would like to make the,
I will make a motion to approve the 2025 to 2030 capital improvement plan.
Second.
it's been moved in second. Is there any discussion?
So the Planning Commission did spend a reasonable amount of time on this, working with city staff, and I really appreciate the work of City Administrator Green and his staff in doing the interviews, capturing the information, taking feedback from the Planning Commission, and going back to the heads of all the departments in order to clarify what it is that they were requesting. Again, the capital improvement plan is not the budget that we just passed. It is a wish list. It is a guiding document that we can use when we're making decisions about what to prioritize in terms of investments in the city, based on the actual experience of the people who are working in the city and using the tools and the funds provided through our tax dollars to help the city run. So I feel, as a representative of the Planning Commission, really good about the capital improvement plan. We have been able to take some things off of previous year's capital improvement plans by actually making progress on them, and then there are other things that have been on here year after year after year and may continue to be until we find an opportunity to actually address them directly. But we still it's important for us to keep an eye on them and be aware of them as we move forward. So I definitely support the content of this capital improvement plan.
Yeah, I think the PA 33 helps us to take some of those things off that list. Yeah, the other thing I would just say about the capital improvement plan is, a lot of the items that are on the capital improvement plan, I think there's, last time I looked after one of the Planning Commission meetings, I think there's about $20 million worth of recommended expenditures in the capital improvement plan. And a very large portion of those are expenses that we have deferred year over year over year because of the issues that we have with Headlee and Prop A and revenue that we've talked a little bit about tonight when we talk about it at town halls. So I think the Public Act 33 and potentially a successful Headlee in November will help us to continue to address some of these long-term items that we haven't been able to address. So it's good that we have a capital improvement plan and we update it every year.
Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, we have the request to approve fiscal year 2025-2026 fee book.
Thank you, Mayor. So similar to everything else, we try to partner this with the budget and everything else. Each year, staff reviews our city fees to see if they meet our needs. We did discuss this back on our April 21st study session agenda, and the updates are included in your packet. We feel like this properly represents our costs for this next year.
Thank you. Who would like to make the motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2025-2026 fee schedule.
You may want a second.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion?
I want to say that I really appreciate the work that went into this because we identified some things that were illegal and
Yeah.
needed to be adjusted based on state law. And it hopefully provides contractors that are working for business owners that are trying to develop in the city in order to make it more reasonable for them to go through our process. Now, it seems like our fee schedule is kind of stagnated over the years, and while other communities have changed their fee schedules to be more in line with how contractors actually do their business, we didn't do such a good job of doing that. So this kind of catches us up. We did hear feedback in the previous regular council meeting from one business owner that city practices around special land use requirements and applications and things like that, making it challenging for him to find tenants for his property. This is one step in a direction that I think will benefit the city in terms of getting us the appropriate revenue to cover the cost of what it takes to develop in the city and do other things in the city, like dog licensing and whatever the heck else is. There's a lot of different things that fees that are paid for. Rentals of community rooms and public places that are for rent are all in this fee book. And ultimately, it should make it easier for residents and business owners to do business in the city, I believe.
So I have a question about the general fees. The commercial inspection was $75 a unit, and are you saying now that the inspection is $40 a unit? It's on
What
page
page
you on?
239.
Yeah, so this was one of our contradicting fees when we were in the fee book. So when Steve, our code enforcement officer, and McKenna looked over their portion, these kind of contradict themselves as, in BSNA, we've always been charging that $40 inspection fee. So we just wanted to keep it consistent with what we have been doing for past practice. So for some reason, in the written fee book, we always had these two fees, but in BSNA, what we actually charged people was the $40.
Oh, so we never was charging $75?
That's my understanding.
Okay. Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem
Yes.
Cantor, Mayor Garrett,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next one is request to approve Resolution 2025-14, authorizing a Headlee override millage proposal to be placed on the ballot for November 4th, 2025.
Thank you, Mayor. So as we've talked about a bunch tonight, we are looking at placing a Headlee override on the November 2025 ballot to get ahead of all the requirements for the state and for the county. And getting this on the ballot, we're looking for council approval of the language so we can begin our proper filing.
Thank you.
I will make a motion to approve resolution number 2025-14, authorizing a Headlee override millage proposal to be placed in the ballot for November 4th, 2025, with the following adjustment to the language that's published in the packet. That being the two bullet points. The first one says up to 20 mils from approximately 17.3001 mils, and then parenthetically $20 from approximately $17, 30 and 1/1000th of a cent per $1,000 of taxable value for general operating expenses for a period of 10 years. So instead of writing it that way, and proposing we write it as up to 20 mils from approximately 17.3001 mils per $1,000 of taxable value. And then in parentheses after that, $20 from approximately $17.30 and 1/1000th of a cent.
The restoration, remember we talked about a restoration of.
Changing.
Yeah,
Up
so
to, it'll say.
instead of-
Restoration to.
20 mils. from
So I'll
approximately
restate it.
17.
I'll restate it to be clear. So the bullet should say restoration up to, or just
I
restoration?
had written down restoring 20 mils from approximately 17.3001 mils of taxable value.
Okay, so be increased as follows, restoring 20 mils from approximately 17.3001 mils per $1,000 of taxable value. And then parenthetically, $20 from approximately $17.30 for general operating expenses for a period of 10 years. And the second bullet, restoration of 3 mils from approximately 2.5948 mils per $1,000 of taxable value. In parentheses, $3 from approximately $2.5948 for sanitation rubbish for a period of 10 years. The rest can stay the same. That's my motion.
Who would like the second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion?
The only reason I made the recommendation for these changes is I feel like it's clearer that, first of all, it's a restoration to what our charter calls for in terms of millage rates, but also it makes it clear that, we're currently paying 17.3 mils per $1,000 of taxable value. I just think stating that at the beginning of these two statements hopefully makes it clear to voters what it is that they're currently paying and what they're voting on potentially increasing to.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, so that was a little different than what I said in there, but I'm fine with it. I just was, at the beginning of the parentheses, so for example, where it says $3 from approximately, can we put the word to? So two $3 from approximately and two $20 from approximately.
Sure, I will amend my motion to state the bullets as restoration to 20 mils from approximately 17.3001 mils, and then in parentheses, to $20 from approximately 17.3001. Oh, sorry, if I missed the first part. Restoration to 20 mils from approximately 17.3001 mils per $1,000 of taxable value, and in parentheses, to $20 from approximately $17.3001. The rest of it staying the same. And restoration to 3 mils from approximately 2.5948 mils per $1,000 of taxable value, in parentheses, to $3 from approximately $2.5948 for sanitation rubbish for a period of 10 years. Clear?
I hope the residents feel that this is clear after the changes that were made. So that, once it's time to go and vote, that people are very clear and that their yes is a yes, their no is a no. So just wanted to make sure that that was clear for the residents and there's no confusion and no thinking that we're trying to trick anyone. So hopefully everyone is aware that we thought about this and it's easy for everyone to understand.
Okay. Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond.
Yes.
Motion passes, and that's just, again, that's just putting it on the ballot. It's up to the residents of what you want to happen.
Yeah, and we'll have a pretty broad education campaign, which has actually started. It started a while ago, but it'll ramp up with a lot more intensity as we get close to the election. The next town hall is, at least tentatively right now, scheduled for August 12th at 7 p.m. So
When we're doing like, when, the residents are voting, should council members be a part of that or no?
What do you mean?
Like, is there like a vote yes, vote no Or are you just,
Are you
just
saying for
giving
what,
it-
for a campaign meeting?
Yeah, like, should you, like, be, like, stepping away from that or no?
Do you mean when we're presenting the education or when we're campaigning?
Probably campaigning, I guess, but like, now that we've made this motion, should you be a part of this anymore? I guess that's my concern.
Well, so when we do the education, it's neutral. It has to be neutral. By law, it has to be neutral. We can't advocate one way or the other. So we are only presenting facts. And we, at no point during the presentation do we ever, say or imply that, residents should vote yes. In fact, I think one of the first things I say at the very beginning is the presentation tonight is we're not here to tell you how to vote on this. We're here to provide you with the information that you need as residents to make an informed decision that makes the most sense for you and your family.
But I think
So.
Keith's talking about not someone that's on the finance committee. You're saying just us as individuals to be one way or the other.
No, I was talking about him being on the
No.
committee.
Yeah,
I
I don't know,
will
Scott,
not
if you want to say
assume.
anything, but.
No, I was just gonna echo what you said, that the city and city council should not take a position one way or
Okay.
the other.
Yeah.
Exactly what Bruce said, providing facts and educating residents on the issue, but letting them make their own decision.
Yeah, and we started, other committee members are also doing part of the presentation now. We would have done more in the last one, but Tim was not able to make the meeting, and he was going to do a big chunk on Headlee, so.
Okay.
You used to be able to advocate one way or another for a proposal, but that changed, so.
Thank you. Next is the request to approve the SOCPWA joint and cooperative agreement.
Thank you, Mayor. So the city is part of the Southeastern Oakland County Public Works Association, and this allows the city to utilize resources to counteract disasters from our neighbors. And every few years, the organization updates their joint cooperative agreements. They're just looking for approval from all authorities and communities.
Thank you. Who would like to make the,
Motion to approve the SOCPWA joint and cooperative agreement.
Second.
it's been moved in second. Is there any discussion?
So this is a agreement that we've been in for years.
Yeah, the city has been a part of SOCPWA for years, and this agreement has kind of been in the background throughout those years. It really only comes into effect when there's major disasters. So, for example, when we had the big ice storms, the big storms where branches went all down Beverly Hills, our crews could go help them without any liability issues from that organization. That's kind of the benefit from it. So if something bad does happen in Lathrup Village, we can call upon our neighbors to come help us free of charge without any liability.
So yeah, it's free of charge and also protects the city from, like
Yeah,
if something
yeah.
horrible happens, then we don't bear the liability of having to remediate whatever the horrible thing might be.
Correct.
Do you know what, if anything, major changed in this agreement in the most recent approval from their board?
I'd say nothing substantial to what it does. I know one of the city's attorneys wanted to throw some more legalese in there. That was the biggest changes that the rest of us, when we reviewed it and approved it last week or 2 weeks ago. But yeah, nothing substantial.
Okay.
Anything else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hammond,
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. Motion passes. Request to approve citywide garage sale date and waive fees.
Yeah, so each year the city sets the citywide garage sale dates and waives associated fees, to spur some participation and consolidate the summer garage sale season into one weekend. Typically, the city in the past has done it in conjunction with the end of the school year. Last year we looked to do that, but that weekend also happened to be Father's Day, so we pushed it a week. The calendar falls the exact same this year, so if we follow the same practice last year, we'd be looking at June 21st and 22nd this year. So we're just looking for formal approval of dates and waiving the fees, and staff can start letting the residents know.
Thank you. Would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to set the citywide garage sale dates for June 21st and 22nd, 2025, and to waive any associated garage sale fee for those dates only.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Is there any discussion?
Good job adjusting for Father's Day. That was a real
I remember
debacle
from
last year.
Yeah.
And people are starting to ask about when is the city going to do, so the timing is
Yeah.
great, right? People are starting to plan for when they're going to be, they're expecting that there will be a citywide garage sale with waived fees, so this is great timing.
Mayor Garrett?
Oh, I guess,
I don't know why you were looking at me. I was like,
yeah, I guess we're ready for roll call. Go ahead.
Mayor Garrett?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor?
yes.
Councilmember Jennings?
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond?
Yes.
Motion passes. Now it's a request to appoint city council member for the term ending November 10th, 2025. This one might be as hard as the PA 33, because I must say, going through all of the resumes and the letters, it was difficult. It was 7 people submitted their, unless you wanted it. Did you want to introduce this? Okay, well, I knew that. Due to Councilmember Barksdale's resignation, here we are, to fill his position. The 7 people: Adele Anderson, Talisa Mathis, Harlan Nemo, Jillian Holloway, Maria Manarino Thompson, Timothy Hillman, and Tracy Williams. I thank you all for submitting for this position. And if you don't get it tonight, I really hope to see you on November's ballot. I also want to say yay to the ladies that put their applications in, because it kind of gets lonely up here sometimes. And, well, I won't keep going on to that one. We have some tough things that we are going to be encountering this year, as you heard, for budgetary issues, pilot program issues. What else are we doing this year? That's pretty much, that's enough within it.
Yeah,
That's a highlight.
And there are going to be expenditures that
Yes.
are going to be requested to approve that are going to be expensive. And hopefully budgeted for, right? It seems like we budgeted and prepared for them, but things come up. So.
And lots of normal, boring things.
Unfortunately, there's not been anything boring for some years. But anyway, with all of that, I recommend someone that already knows how things run and that just can fill the seat and keep it to moving. And oh my God, the boots on the ground almost came out
Oh
my
God,
mouth.
no, you didn't.
I could not believe that almost came out my mouth. Someone that is ready on day one, so it's my recommendation to appoint Maria Manarino Thompson.
All right, I'll make a motion to appoint Maria Manarino Thompson to the term ending November 10th, 2025.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Is there any other discussion?
Yeah, I want to piggyback off on what you said. I thought it was a really, really difficult situation. I spent probably as much time going over the resumes as I did preparing for the PA 33 and the budget. I mean, all 7 resumes were impressive. Any one of you could have stepped into this role very, very easily. Wish we could take y'all, but we can't. And so, kind of for me, when I was thinking about it, that's who I was going to recommend before you, had you not recommended Maria, because it is one kind of step that she has on everybody else. So she's done this role for 12 years. I made a joke a second ago that we spent a lot of time on boring stuff. She knows all that boring stuff. She's done it 12 times over. Approved the SOCPWA contract that we just did. Those kinds of things she knows. She knows the procedures.
And she's not running.
What's that? Oh, well, and she's not running. Yeah, and I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something else, but yeah. So I think it. Oh, I know what I was going to say. It's like, I know when you first get on council, like when I first got on in 2017, the first couple months, you just kind of sit and listen and try to figure things out, and then you kind of get a little shy about talking things. Well, we've only got 6 months, and so I think she can hit the ground running, hit the ground sprinting, and so that's why I made the recommendation that I did, or made the motion that I did.
And I encourage everyone else to still keep
Yeah.
coming to the meetings or watch the meetings, so you know exactly what's going on. So when it comes time for the election, because you're still going to be thrown into it regardless.
Yeah.
But, at least this will give you some heads up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, run in November, we have open seats, so.
We also have an open planning commission seat, so you should consider potentially applying to be on the planning commission. That's something that will happen sooner. So we'll talk about that during planning commission update at the end of the meeting. But yeah, it's a very difficult decision, but I don't think we could make a bad decision. I think any one of the 7 candidates, applicants would be a great addition to the city council. So personally, thank you all for applying.
Yeah, I actually didn't think the same way as you guys. I was thinking like maybe a fresh face, but I do know Maria, and I know she's very capable of what we're looking for. I actually really enjoyed Harlan's resume. So, but I guess I could vote no, but I'm in support.
Yeah, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack from the Kalamazoo College Alumni Association because there was one K grad in the group.
Anything else? Roll call, please.
Mayor Garrett,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Yes.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammond.
Yes.
Congratulations, you're back. City Administrator,
Nothing this month, Mayor.
thank you. City Attorney,
Nothing for me tonight.
DDA, nothing. Planning Commission,
Yeah, the planning commission has a meeting tomorrow night, and we have on the, we'll be announcing, actually, I think it's already probably been announced or planning to be announced in the upcoming newsletter, that we had one resignation from the planning commission in the last week, so we now have an open seat, and we'll be taking applications for, I imagine, a 1-month period, something like that. So anybody who's interested should please consider applying for the planning commission. We're also going to we have a couple of public hearings on 2 different site plans. I know one of them is for a packaged food business. The other one, I can't remember.
Not off the top of my head.
But we have 2 site plans for review. We're also going to be reviewing zoning ordinance amendments for solar power panels and for power storage. A public hearing for a zoning ordinance amendment around money service business use classification. So this would be like payday loan services and such. And we'll be setting a public hearing for a zoning amendment dealing with small box retail stores, discount stores, like Dollar General style stores. So we got a lot on our agenda for tomorrow night.
thank you. Parks and Rec,
Yeah, so again, to build off of what Karen said in her public comment, the Parks and Rec committee, they are go-getters like you can't even believe. They are doing a great job. Just a few upcoming events. The Food Truck Friday, the next Food Truck Friday will be May 30th. It's going to be the restaurant, the food truck Agave and Lime. We have the summer kickoff coming on June 13th. Puzzle night on October 8th, and by puzzle, that's like jigsaw puzzle. So everybody does the race to do the same jigsaw puzzle. So that'll be October 8th. The second annual road rally will be on October 12th. And then at the last meeting, the committee agreed to work with the Lathrup Village Music Festival on the Family Zone. So they're looking at getting things like face painters, balloonists, if that's a word, obstacle course. What am I forgetting, Lauren? Bouncy house.
The clown is a balloonist.
Yeah, yeah. So. Yep,
That's it?
And that's it.
For the tree committee, they're doing and I forgot the date, it's in June for the.
June 7th and 8th.
June 7th and 8th for the volunteer to plant trees, and they can sign up where?
Eventbrite. We should have a link on on our website, and I think it's on the DDA webpage as well.
Okay, thank you. Finance Review Committee.
Yeah, we had a another town hall last Monday. Had a really great conversation, kind of low turnout, but great conversation. Tracy was there, Diane was there, Maria was there. Real good conversation, and we look forward to, we're gonna take a break until August over the summer. As I said a minute ago, start ramping things up. So we have 5 town halls scheduled. We'll also be sending out a postcard to residents to inform them of where they can get information. There'll be an ad in the Southfield Sun. We're currently running one of the recorded videos of the town halls on public access TV, so residents can see it that way. We're planning on putting a poster up in the lobby, considering that we get a lot of people coming in the lobby every day, so let them know. And as I said, the next town hall will be August 12th.
Thank you. Southfield School Board.
Well, they were here today. They made their report. Graduation is June 6th. I'll be there to support and represent the city of Lathrup Village. So that's all I have for now.
Thank you. Unfinished new business?
There is one bit of unfinished business, I'm sorry. Regarding the St.Baldricks Day event recap, Jalen had written up a proclamation for all that who donated. And if you're here still and you donated, I would like to pass those out to you before we leave today. I know we're almost done, but I will be very fast, and I just want to show you guys something tangible as a token of appreciation. So thank you, Jalen, for writing those up. Greatly appreciate it. And,
No problem.
Yeah,
Is he passing them out now?
I will when we're done.
Oh, okay. Next, we have public comment. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, and dare I say, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Me again. This is, I think, my 4th time speaking tonight. I apologize. I wanted to shout out a few of my neighbors for the good work they're doing in the community. First, Kim Hodge, who's our delegate to the county convention in Precinct 2. I actually live in Precinct 1, but she's on the other side. I've lived in lots of communities, and I've been politically engaged in all of them, and I've never known who my delegate was. I still don't know who my delegate is, but I know who Kim is. And she does a lot of wonderful organizing on this side of town, and I'm happy to help occasionally, but several of you in the room tonight provide help much more than I ever have. So if you're interested in learning more about her efforts, you can follow Lathrup Villagers for Democracy. That's the group you see rallying outside of City Hall every so often. This coming week, we'll meet to write postcards to conservative-leaning voters who might be doubting their decision in the last presidential election. We do a lot of grassroots stuff like that. So thank you to Kim for taking the lead. I'd also like to recognize Mary, Nancy, and Susan, who worked hard this past weekend bringing our Veterans Garden back to life. I also gardened this weekend at my own house, and I know how stressful that can be on the body, and they devoted their bodies to the betterment of our community and to the preservation of a wonderful landmark we have for our veterans, so thank you to them. And finally, Diane. Diane, for the last several months, has stood up at this podium to speak about a memorial plaque that went missing in City Hall. I haven't always agreed with your approach. However, I fear that what has transpired is a series of accusations and then defenses against the accusation, and then another accusation, and then another defense against the accusation. And what's missing is the plaque. So I would hope, and I'm imploring this city council, but also the city government, to forget about the accusations and forget about the defense against those accusations, and in the spirit of Veterans Day, reach out to a veterans organization and work to restore the plaque that went missing. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Lauren Barris, Golden Gate. I just wanted to give a little update on LVMF. Bruce did too, but we have our lineup locked in. I want to thank Elisa Manuel for all of her hard work in finding new music for us. And I really want to applaud you for that. Thank you so much. And Bruce mentioned that the Parks and Rec is working with us. We have a family area we're dedicating funds to, and they're working hard on that, so we're really excited about that. And I wanted to congratulate Maria, and also say Tracy, Harlan, and Tim are all friends of mine, so I was really rooting for everyone. But I wanted to congratulate Maria. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
So at the last council, it's Jonathan Terra. The last council meeting, I spoke about the weekly littering of our community, but with the SAVE brochure. At the end of that meeting, the city attorney approached me, and I provided him with photographs as well as an example flyer. And he had mentioned that apparently we had a similar problem several years ago, and that was dealt with in some manner. So I would hope at some point to hear a progress report of what's been done. It may just mean somebody has to write a letter. I also want to thank Tim Hillman for going where I dare not tread, Facebook. I'm a proud never Facebook member, non-member. And brought it, apparently there has been some discussion about this, and one of the things that was discovered is that you can opt out, and people have reported that by, I don't know if it's email or mailing or however you do it, it seems to be effective, but you shouldn't have to do that, right? I'd love to hear that there's been some progress. So aside from that, I want to thank the DDC for sending out, apparently from the report here, sending out several letters to Southfield Road businesses imploring them to clean up their ditches. Thank you. I see only one was sent out to residents. I would hope that residents are given a little more leeway, but also instruction and help with that. And I note that, we have a lot of ditches that are just full of water still, and even ones that were just handicapped corners that were just done, that they're already filled with sediment. And I don't think that should be homeowner responsibility. And then finally, I want to thank the police department for, I would like to implore them to write more speeding tickets, and also some more impeding traffic tickets for our one operating light between 11 and 12, because people are blocking that intersection. They're just going into the intersection, and you can't get across Southfield if you want to go from one side to the other. But I do want to thank our police department for taking seriously reports about scams and such.
Thank you.
Because not all police departments do.
Thank you. Who would like to be heard next? Is there anyone?
Just to let you know, they are stopping people at stuff. So the police are out there. Very active. Well, once again, I'd urge you to actually print out a hard copy of the Finance Committee report and go on your own street at least and share it with your neighbors, because they have made an absolute case about the importance of the revenue shortfall. But again, I disagree with their solutions, that caving into Cerno is the way to do it. Lathrup needs to be a place that has a beating heart, which was the school. But the DDA now seems to basically be driving the agenda rather than the council, and council tells us there was nothing they could do about the school because it's private property. They don't tell you it's private property because they changed the zoning to help Cerno out. It didn't have to be that way. Council does ordinances, they do code enforcement, and the lack of code enforcement is why those 40 buildings I referred to earlier are in such a state of disrepair instead of being brought up to scratch. I pointed out before that there's all kinds of grants. This is just one group the State Historic Preservation Office that gave out $1.3 billion in 110 projects. They gave certified local government grants for $1 million to 42 districts. There are things council could do other than trashing our history by doing something about historic preservation. We can't rely on the organizations that should. Mom and her friends who founded the Historical Society expected their job was to get the school back, to turn it into a mixed use, a public building and also boutique type stores and things inside. Instead, they don't meet, they don't hold public meetings, and they've turned it into a private club where they blackball anybody that wants to do preservation, and they also voted to basically give in to Cerno. So we have to find somebody that does the job about historic preservation. We have to make people understand it will actually increase the value of your home, not decrease it. If you expand the historic district, as I said before, which could basically include almost all of Lathrup now, to get these historic grants and turn it into a boutique community that will really attract the right kind of businesses, not a Dollar General discount store on Southfield Road. There is so much that can be done, but it requires vision. It requires not taking the soft options of discount stores and not giving in to Jeffrey Cerno, the man who trashed our old city hall and has done more to harm Lathrup in the view of people who care about preservation than any other person, any other company in this city's history. It's not too late. I've been talking to people from the state today. There are bodies we can appeal to, people who care about the school. There's lots that can be done to stop Cerno. But you first of all have to make a commitment to wanting to expand historic preservation, not to trash it. And once again, do download that item of Bruce's. I know I keep coming at it.
Thank you.
But it's really, really, really good.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to be heard? Mayor and council comments. Congratulations, Maria, and thank you to everyone else that ran. I deeply appreciate it, and please, again, put your name on the ballot by the end of July. That's it. Anyone else?
I want to make comments about Tim's suggestion that we, as a city, find a way to commemorate Mr. Besky and find a way to do that. So I implore the city manager to look into that.
And
I'm
Officer
happy to help with that.
Well, there were two on it.
Sorry?
There were two people on it, not just Phil. There was also Chief Officer Kelson, who was our sole police officer for decades here, and his son died at the same time.
Great. Yeah, so
I can give you the stuff.
if we can get information about their service, that would be really helpful. I absolutely agree. Like, we just need to fix
Thank you, Tim.
it. So I support that. I also appreciate, Diane, you bringing up the idea of historic preservation, and I can recognize that what the city is doing relative to working with a property owner of the city around this specific property, there are lots of differences in agreement on, but the idea of championing historic preservation in the city is something I certainly support. I think that if there are opportunities to expand the historic district in the city, to create opportunities for more grants for preserving historic buildings, whether they're homes or office buildings, is something we should look into. I don't know exactly what the solution is there or what we will get out of it, but I'm happy to support the idea of investigating what we could do around that and what would be the cost to the city for doing that and the residents for doing that, and what the benefit would be.
The owners get taxpayers.
Is there anything else? Anyone else?
One thing I would just say is I would echo Jonathan's comments about the police. The police could make a gold mine right now just from, I think you know that, but the cut through traffic because of the construction. I cannot believe how many people have just run stop signs right in front of me in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, the more patrolling we can get, the better.
I have heard stories from residents that have seen patrol cars in specific intersections closer to the freeway.
Yeah.
I think on Meadowbrook, right,
Yeah.
mostly. That it is working, right, when they're there.
Right.
And they're doing the enforcement, but it's one car and they can only pull over one person.
Right, of course. Yeah.
But being there is having some impact. I do know also from my own experience that GPS applications are directing traffic down Meadowbrook. right? So if you're going eastbound on the service drive and you want to get to the northeast part of the city, GPS is going to have you actually take a turnaround before Southfield Road and then cut through the neighborhood in order to get over to Southfield. And there really isn't anything the city can do about that.
Right, of course not.
But having the police officers on patrol, I think, will help with that. The one concern I do have is that when that's happening at night, it obviously is driving traffic down those streets at times when families are resting and quiet time. And so hopefully once the construction project is over some year, that will go back to being quiet. But for now, it's very difficult to do much about it, especially during the evening hours when staffing is lower.
And congratulations to Maria, and again, thank you to the other 6 applicants. I feel guilty looking out there, because we couldn't pick you all, but thank you.
Is there anything else? Make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
And second.
Thank you all.